We got about 4 kilos of beef and veal bones. We got celeriac, we got celery, we got carrots, we got leeks, we got onions, we got garlic, we got tomato paste, we got red wine. We have aromatics like rosemary, thyme and bay leaf. And this we are all gonna turn into this, a highly super concentrated stock cube. We're gonna start with our bones. We are gonna roast them off in the oven. The oven is at full whack. That means about 220 degrees centigrade, which is about 425 degrees Fahrenheit. And we are gonna baste our bones with the tomato paste. I got different bones. I have veal legs, I have beef shanks, and I have some short ribs, which I'm gonna roast off in the oven. And I'm gonna roast them in the oven for about an hour. An hour should suffice. And roasting the bones in the oven ensures that the bones will get a deep brown color to your stock. I've got a piece of clove here, and you want to stick that piece of clove into the onion to give it some aroma. You want to stick about, well, let's say 4 pieces of clove per onion. So we're going to start with the celeriac. As you can see, it's a big ass root. So we are going to peel the celeriac by cutting the top off. The top part actually we are gonna save because we can use that also in the stock. And the outer layer of the celeriac is full of sand, so we are not gonna use that in the stock. So we are gonna peel the celeriac by cutting off the outer layer with a knife. And this is what we end up with, our peeled celeriac, which we are gonna cut and add to the stock pot. You also have to dice the carrots. They can be pretty big dice, because for the carrots the same goes as for the celeriac. It's gonna be boiling for about 8 hours, so all the flavor will be extracted from the vegetables, whether the pieces are small or large. Now I'm gonna cut the garlic. We are not gonna peel the garlic, we are just gonna take the whole head of garlic like this and just cut it like this. And this is what it looks like. And we can just chuck every little clove in. And now we can talk stock pots. My stock pot holds about 10 liters, which means I'm just gonna chuck everything in and fill her up with water up to the brim. But you want to take about 1 liter of water per kilo of bones and vegetables. So about 1 liter of water to 1 kilo vegetables and bones. Okay, our bones and onions have been roasting in the oven at about 220 degrees centigrade, about 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, before we put our roasted bones and onions into the stock pot, we are first going to layer it with some vegetables. Then we are going to put all the bones on there, and we filled our stock pot up to the brim with the bones, the vegetables, and about 4 liters of water. As you can see, the stock pot is totally full. And I'm gonna load the next stock pot up with the bones and onions. So now, before we put both stock pots onto the fire, we are gonna deglaze the roasting tray with a bottle of cheap ass wine. But as the rule of thumb dictates, you must never cook with a wine you wouldn't drink. So we add our wine to the roasting tray, about a whole bottle. Yes indeed, about a whole bottle. And we turn up the heat, and we are gonna get all those sticky bits off the bottom of the roasting tray, because that's where the real flavor is. So what's in this roasting tray is all the drippings from the beef and the veal bones, and a bottle of red wine. We're going to bring this up to the boil, let the alcohol cook off, and then we're going to divide it amongst our 2 stock pots. First we bring the both stock pots up to the boil, and then we take it down to a simmer, and after 9 hours of simmering, the contents of the pot look like this. All the flavor has been extracted from the bones and vegetables, so it's time to put everything on a sieve and let it drain. We have removed all the vegetables and the bones from the stock, because all the flavor from the vegetables and the bones have extracted into the stock. So that means it's time to sift the stock for the first time, and we're just using a regular sift like this. And we need to help the stock through the sieve for a little bit, so we use a small soup ladle and we are gonna push all the stock through the sieve. And this is like all the stuff that is left behind in the sieve. And this is what our stock looks like when it's gone through the sieve for the first time. So after 4 hours of simmering down this stock, we are gonna try and degrease the stock. As you can see, there is a lot of grease that has formed onto the stock, and we are gonna try and get rid of that. And we are now gonna turn off the stove and let the stock cool down. And once the stock has cooled down enough, we place the stock into the refrigerator. And in the refrigerator, all the fat will solidify on top of the actual stock, and we will be able to scrape it off. Okay, the pot with stock has been in the refrigerator for about 24 hours, and as you can see, it has totally solidified. All the fat has solidified on the top, which makes it easy to take it off. So the upper layer in the stock pot is all fat, and because it's solidified, we can easily scrape the fat off. As you can see, the fat also has a different color. This is all fat. I scraped all the fat off the top layer. There is still a little bit of fat left, but that doesn't matter. You can leave a little bit of fat in the stock. And now we're gonna bring it back up to the boil so we can sieve our stock once more. We have about 1.5 liters of pure beef stock left, and we are now gonna put it through a sieve lined with muslin or cheesecloth. I picked the muslin up so you can see what is seeping through the cheesecloth or muslin or your tea towel. And after passing the stock through the sieve with the muslin, this is what we end up with. About 1 liter of highly concentrated beef stock, which we are gonna cool down to room temperature and then put into ice cube trays and freeze until we need them.